Good morning, Crossroads. My name's Todd. I'm a grateful believer in God. Well, I'm an alcoholic, a drug abuser, or anything that would make me feel good. It was always a downward spiral. It got so bad that 2 years ago I was sleeping in my storage unit because I didn't want to follow rules. Working just enough to pay my storage fee and drink myself to sleep, hoping I didn't freeze to death. Struggling with anger and patience, I stayed away from most people, afraid of what I might say, feeling guilty, not even knowing if I did anything. I used to be pretty free with my words, calling people dumbasses or whatever name fit them. Then after I'd feel guilty and bad, wondering why I did it. Then I'd talk to myself and say, well, if the name fit, wear it. My family would invite me over. Usually I just wouldn't show up because the beer was more important than them, really. Just hiding so they wouldn't see how bad I was doing. I didn't want to admit it, that I didn't have any values left. It was just a never-ending story, one big merry-go-round. I didn't think my family really wanted to talk to me anyways. Thinking to myself that I was doing halfway decent when I was going to church, talking with the Lord, but I didn't know if I really believed or in some ways I was just going for the free meal at Emmanuel. I should stay. I ate their food. I started helping out there with the meals, so it didn't feel like charity anymore once a month. I found myself on the other week standing at the door greeting people. They did it on Sundays. Why not on Saturdays? I was still kind of messing up, but it took me less and less time to go back. Well, I messed up again, but went right back. No one was even mad at me. It was my week to cook, and I missed it. The pastor said, well, it's an easy thing. It happens. The pastor was just happy to see me there again. I admitted what happened instead of lying. It felt so much better. Lying sucks. Still had my doubts. When I had time, I'd volunteer more, helping people move or whatever. Sometimes the work sucked. It was cold, but the fellowship these guys showed made me want more of it. They were there for each other. They were happy. For a long time, I was straddling the fence, not wanting to give up all control, knowing that God wanted it to be one way or the other. Keep looking at the other scriptures on the wall. I kept looking at scriptures on the wall at the rescue mission, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and Tom Davis preaches it pretty much. Faith and trust, even in AA, they talk about a higher power. For me, I'm a new Christian. You start as a child, so you have to do away with all the old. And it's hard to give up your old friends, and you have to find more mature friends. You learn something different every day. Faith, trust, and love, life is just good. There's still problems, but they all work through. I work through all of it now. Now I love doing service work, going on short-term trips, volunteering to help others. A group of us volunteer at St. John's twice a week at the military school. At first, it seemed like they were just tolerating us there, but now they try to work with us. Even the kids now stop and shake our hands. Shared my story with them, with the kids at chapel, and Greta told Ron about it, so she called me and said, Ron didn't have anyone to share their testimony this week, so I called him, got it out of my way. It's out of my comfort zone to be up here talking to you guys. And I urge you, if I can get out of my comfort zone once, you guys can do it too. When we went out, I volunteered to go out on Christmas caroling. Really didn't want to go. I just thought maybe it was expected of me with my boss and his wife going. But seeing people's reactions made it worth it and fun, just fellowship, what God wants us to do. Reacting to situations makes life so much easier. For example, on a short-term trip, the guy I room with said, I kind of feel like I'm in the way. The old me would have said, yeah, you are. Thinking before I talked, I looked at him and I said, no, you're not. You're picking up tools for us. You're handing it to us, making us so we don't have to climb up and down the ladder. You're keeping the grounds clean so we don't have to do it after we're done work. All we have to do is put our tools away. Reacting that way made me feel good, not just him. Made him a commitment after that. If you're not to build someone up, try to find a positive, not a negative, to say to them. We are all born screw-ups. We're not perfect. We never will be perfect. We just need to move forward. When you're mad, pray. When your mouth wants to say something wrong, think. Thinking is like talking to God for me. Man, I got a lot of good friends now. They're on my side. When I need help or an ear, they're there. My family actually does love me, but I got a lot of trust to build back up with them. And that's what God wants us to do, just keep moving forward. I don't feel guilty all the time anymore. My mind's not racing at night. I can actually sleep, and it feels good. Thank you.